Hello to all my friends out there. Hi, you guys. Here I am in sunny San Diego. Can you believe this? It is actually really sunny. Okay, I was just now rejoicing because I bought these lovely sunglasses at the thrift store. I said they were Guess sunglasses, but they're not. They're something else. But I am rejoicing because I'm going through my life and I'm creating a color palette. And in my color palette is brown, beige, tan, cream, a little black, a little gray, and terracotta. And I found these, and my clothes too. And since I've been doing that, I think I look a lot better. So I found these terracotta. Terracotta is hard to find, of course. So I was rejoicing about that. And then I was sitting here in the sun drinking some Diet Coke. And I was thinking, now these are small joys, admittedly. I was thinking, wow, you know, I moved to this nicer area and like from a block from my house is a 7-Eleven that is open 24 hours a day. And what they have there is maple donuts, glazed bars, maple. And what I like to do is I like to eat maple donuts and drink Coke sometimes in the middle of the night. And I have this 7-Eleven a block from my house, and it's just such a blessing. So looking at the bright side of things is really irritating to some people. I mean, I would work for people and I would drive them insane. So I'm doing the car thing still. This has been going on. It has been a long year. You know, 1 year ago, I got sick. Never been sick in my life. Came right out of it as far as I know. I thought there was a possibility I was having a stroke. So from that time, I've been very, very careful, thinking, you know, I'm like Fred Sanford, Elizabeth, this is the big one. So it's been a really long year, and I went to the food pantry in La Mesa, and that was just 1 year ago, and I've been working on the stockpile ever since. And so I've been doing all this cheap stuff, and it served me well. And so today, what I do is I'm in my car from the time I get up until the time it gets dark. So I bought this macaroni and cheese, and I will eat that. I bought some, this is what reminded me of the food pantry. I got this a year ago. I still have a few. So if you guys need food, call 211 or do a search. Google, you know, food pantries, food banks, and get the food. And I really love these crackers, 50 cents. And then, you know, I have a little bag of chips. So that's what I do during the day. And I was thinking about this situation, you know, I'm going, wow. This is year 2 of this pandemic, of this COVID. And I was, you know, I was up in 7-Eleven, and some guy said, well, I don't know anyone who's had the COVID. And the clerk said, well, my uncle got it twice and he got sick from the vaccination. And I go, well, it killed my uncle, which is still unbelievable because my uncle lived in a small town. So you think you'd be immune from this stuff. It is all over the country. And I was thinking, wow, you know, and it's still going around, you know. The vaccinations are probably going to help, but we've had this COVID and all the people couldn't work and the kids couldn't go to school. I think that's one of the worst aspects of this whole pandemic. You know, when I was a kid, first of all, my dad was an elementary school teacher when I was a kid at the school I went to. I love that. But, you know, I was a pretty bad kid. And so, you know, I was always standing by the fence for being bad, mostly talking. I think was the worst thing I ever did. Like, oh, talking during lunchtime. You're supposed to eat your sandwiches, kids, no talking. And so like I was, always standing by the fence. And so my punishment was doing the dishes, which I was doing the dishes a lot. I was one of those kids, I just could not learn my lesson, I guess. And it was embarrassing too, because, my dad was the teacher there. So anyway, the kids not being able to go to school, in my mind, is one of the most horrible things about the COVID. And now, I know I'm out here in Southern California, in sunny Southern California, and I'm thinking about those people in Texas and all those cold kids, and plus just the fact of being freaked out over and over. And I was thinking this morning, wow, this is so bad, what next? My son and I always say, well, if it's not this, it'll be something else. I mean, we have had our share of hell. So, I was getting ready, I had to pull myself together, and I'm thinking, well, possibly this is the tribulation. The Christians go, well, before the coming of the Lord, there was going to be tribulation, otherwise trouble coming, big trouble, and then more big trouble. And I thought, wow, so it's possible that this is the tribulation. So, there's little to nothing we can do, really, if this is the tribulation. But I would say the best thing is to prepare as best we can. And all this stuff happening, I've kind of changed things around and kind of put evacuation at the top. It was food storage, but now I'm kind of moving around to maybe evacuation is more important. And I think to myself about Germany, why didn't the people get out when they had time? Well, maybe they didn't have enough resources, or maybe they thought things were going to get better, or maybe they thought things couldn't get much worse, or maybe they were afraid, or maybe they waited until it was so dangerous. So, I always think about that. And then I think about 9/11, when they told the people to stay at their desks. So, bad advice given can cost you your life. And then, you have to, if you wait to evacuate, if that situation needs be, then, it's so much harder because everyone's going to be evacuating. And I would expect relocation to these warm states after that. I know when I was living in La Mesa and we had those protests like a block from where I lived, I thought I'm going to move as soon as I can, but I couldn't move like immediately. So it was around March, I think, when those happened, and I didn't move till November. So, the problem with the cold weather is, if this is a grand solar minimum, this is not the end of it. And strong possibilities when this snow starts melting. Well, there's already floods from the frozen pipes. It's actually pretty horrifying. The whole state of Texas. Texas is the second largest state. I think California is the worst. The worst. We can be the worst if this state. We do have a good governor. I'm not even a Democrat. He is good. One of the things that I had to admire in our state is when the prisoners were let out of jail to fight the fires. And I just thought that was horrifying. I mean, the fires out here are horrifying. So anyway, so we kind of expect him to run for president ourselves. California, Okay, so I've kind of moved the evacuation up And then the next thing is food storage. You know, I usually buy a little food continuously. This month I'm working on non-food items. And this is a wake-up call how the water has you know, gone out in Texas undrinkable. They have to boil it. So I'm going to be getting a water filter of some type. I'm not sure what. And a generator and a camp stove. You know, I'm going to be preparing. And the other thing is credit lines. When I was doing hair, I had a lot of really nice and good clients, and we would chat. And one of my clients was a banker. And I said, wow, you know, what should I do at my age? And he goes, well, increase your credit lines as much as you can now. And I didn't really think about it because generally I didn't use credit that much. But I listened to him. And now at this age, you know, after I have retired, there is a fat chance I would get the credit I have. And I listened to him, and I told everyone in the shop to do the same. Because the banker told me. And I think about, you know, these people in Texas, and you don't have any money and you don't have any credit. That is really bad. I think this no credit thing, I mean, if you can't use your debit and you don't have any credit and you don't have any cash, and, you know, hoarding small bills of cash for sure. So right now, the credit is loose pretty much, but it will tighten. I mean, I have been through recessions where nobody had credit. So, you know, I'm guarding my credit with my life. So, you know, and especially if you're relocating, you know, you're relocating like on the other side of the country to get out of the cold weather. And so I had this client, another one, and he came in and he goes, oh shit, I just lost my job. I go, well, do you have a line of credit? And he said, yeah. And I said, well, go get cash now and put it in the bank before they find out you don't have a job, because it had just happened. And he goes, that's a good idea. So all the anti-credit people are saying that's a bad idea. No, that's a good idea. That's how you don't lose your house and such. So the credit thing in my mind is right up there with the food storage and the ability to evacuate. And so, you know, I was just telling you this, and I was thinking, I'm the kind of person, people, strangers will come up. I think it's from the fact that I was a hairdresser, and the kids in the shop would tell me the most hilarious things. And one of the kids, you know, I was cutting his hair, and he said, you know what? I go, well, what? It was, my dad went on a cruise and he left us kids a lousy $20. I thought it was so funny. And like the parents are over there, will you shut up? And the kids would just like be telling me all their family business. Or else another one that sticks out in my mind is, and like I'm doing wax, I'm, you know, ripping out this lady's hair, and she tells me at one time me and my kids were really, really starving. I go, like, starving? She goes, yeah, I mean, in the suburbs, yeah, really, really starving. And I thought, wow, you know, how many people are suffering incredible hardships that you know nothing about? And like, I was pretty much horrified because she had a good job, and here I was, you know, my jobs were not good, but, you know, we got by and we never starved. Well, for one thing, my food storage has really saved me all these years. And I thought, wow, and how could this happen? And I think what it really is it's no skills to prepare for the hard times. So that is kind of what we've been talking about in this whole video. Okay, if something horrible happens, what I'm gonna do? Well, you know, it's food, water, gas, cash. I added heat and a weapon. Especially like out here in California, you know, it seems benign, but it's not. Just take a look at those La Mesa looting and rioting. That was bad. Okay, you guys, please like, comment, and subscribe, and God bless you all.